All right, one quarterback gang, we are back.
Let's go.
Doing the absolute most to help you guys out in this 2024 draft rookie season.
Absolutely.
We've got a spicy one quarterback, 2-round mock draft for
Here
you
we go.
guys. PPR, non-tight end premium. We're excited to get into it. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Let us know down below. What is your
Merry
favorite Christmas movie, by the way? Badaki, for me, it's got to be Elf. I don't know where you stand, but I just think Elf is the goated. Maybe it's my generation, but it's goated.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I'll just go with Home Alone. How about that?
Okay, that's got to be 102 for me. So
Yeah,
it's pretty
102.
damn close.
See you there.
All right, guys. So let's get straight to it. We are using draft countdowns mock draft for landing spots today. This is Travis May of Draft Countdown. So if you don't like the landing spots, we didn't make them. All right.
Once again,
so go
we didn't make
yell at Draft Countdown. And Travis May specifically. No, shout out to Travis. Thanks for these 7-round mocks. All right, you are up at the 101, Badaki. I'll give it to you. I had it last time. So what you thinking here?
Yeah, keep it short, sweet, and simple. Marlon Harrison Jr. going to the Arizona Cardinals, linking up with the cockroach himself and Kyler Murray. No doubt about it, should easily be a top 5 wide receiver in Dynasty after this pick, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. The Marvin Harrison Jr. takes might get really, really boring very quickly because he's probably going to the Cardinals. And, you know, I mean, maybe the Bears. Maybe the Bears if they keep Justin Fields.
I'm believing for the Bears for Justin.
We'll
Actually,
see.
I don't know because I really want DJ Moore to succeed. And he has been succeeding.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, well,
all right, at the 102, I will take my wide receiver 2, a wide receiver that I believe is in the same tier as Marvin Harrison Jr. That is Malik Neighbors. Now, he goes to the New York Jets. I don't love that landing spot. I don't hate it. You know, we talked about this in previous videos. I don't believe personally that Malik Neighbors is going to take some backseat to Garrett Wilson. I think he's just as good as a prospect. I've said this before. There are 2 elite wide receiver prospects in this class. Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors. And Malik Neighbors is like, you know, obviously you prefer Marvin Harrison, right? Because of the size. But Malik is a more explosive athlete. He is better after the catch. And that is where those 2 guys separate themselves, in my opinion. And, you know, I'm still working out on like a perfect comparison, Badaki for Malik Neighbors. But what I'm currently landing on, and I know it's going to sound drastic, but I don't think it is. What I'm currently landing on at the moment is he is a combination between Reggie Wayne, Antonio Brown, Stephon Diggs, and DJ Moore. Like somewhere in between there, I think that's the kind of player you're getting with Malik Neighbors. And
yeah, that's fair.
That would be dynamic for Aaron Rodgers and this Jets offense. And if you think about it, they kind of need another guy. I don't know if they need like a top, 10 pick, another guy, but they definitely need another guy to complement Garrett because right now, if you shut down Garrett, you're probably going to be able to shut down Brees. And if you shut down Brees, you're probably going to be able to shut down Garrett. You know, it's just like there's 2 options in this offense right now. So it could benefit them, and there's enough targets to go around with the lack of talent on this offense. So I'll go Malik there at the 102.
Yeah, it makes sense. I will be surprised if they do go an offensive weapon. I think more of an offensive tackle for the New York Jets in the first round, but we'll wait and see here. All right, I'm at the 103. Let's stay in New York. Let's go upstate to the Buffalo Bills with Rome Odunze landing there with Josh Allen, long-term answer, an elite quarterback here as well. Stephon Diggs already in question, 30 years old. And, I mean, they've been finding their rhythm, no doubt about it, as of late, as we're recording this video. But if things does go sour again in the playoffs, what's going to happen with Stephon Diggs? Rome Odunze steps up. And even if Stephon Diggs doesn't leave, he is clearly going to be taking over that Gabe Davis role and a better overall wide receiver that should be getting a lot more targets, a lot more opportunities than Gabe Davis. He can easily fit into this role and easily become the wide receiver 1 once Stephon Diggs walks. So I like Rome Odunze here at the 1.
And there is some huge disconnect right now between Diggs and Josh Allen. Something is not on the right page, and you might be like, wait, what do you mean? I know that, guys, because I traded for Stephon Diggs. I think it was week 9 that I traded for him. When I traded for him, he was a wide receiver 3 in fantasy football. And from weeks 10 onwards, I believe, don't quote me on that, I believe he was a wide receiver 47 in fantasy football. And it was the reason I lost the fantasy championships, or in the fantasy playoffs. But furthermore than fantasy, if you watch the games, because I got Diggs, I'm excited to watch him every week. And every week I'm like, what is going on? These guys are not on the same page. So I would not be surprised if they add a weapon to kind of grow around. So that makes a lot of sense there.
Yeah.
All right. So, I think this actually looks like the top 3 of a video we've already done, but,
It's a classic, though. I mean, I think
these guys are in great spots, though. I'm going to go with a tight end. Yeah, it's not a tight end premium format, but I'm going to go with a tight end here. I think this is the perfect spot and the perfect long-term answer to help an elite quarterback out. Brock Bowers goes to the Los Angeles Chargers. Couldn't have dreamt up of a better landing spot for Brock Bowers. I mean, he steps in there. Keenan Allen getting a little bit older. Mike Williams off the ACL. No disrespect to Quentin Johnson. I mean, he's played better. But Brock Bowers becomes your number 1 weapon pretty much overnight. I mean, we'll see what happens with Keenan Allen. There's a huge cap hit on him next year. If he stays, then you're kind of 1A, 1B there. But either way, you are on an exciting offense attached to an elite quarterback, in my opinion, who has just not had any help around him defensively and this year with his weaponry. So we'll go Brock Bowers there. If he were to go to the Chargers in the first round, Badaki, by the way, all these guys were drafted in the first round.
Yes.
Then I would have a hard time not being all in on him, even in a redraft league. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like he would be one of my favorite tight end picks in a redraft league even. So
yeah, I'll
take him there at the 104.
I definitely would agree. I think the biggest thing here, I'm going to be interested in what this offensive coordinator, well, I guess Kellen Mond is still going to be there.
Yeah.
And he has had history with, maybe. It's so weird if he does get fired after the 1 year, but a new head coach.
I think it's more likely that he won't be there, bro, because
really?
You think about it. Yeah. Think about it. They're going to have a new head coach. Mm-hmm. That head coach, do they just want to, you're cool, Kellen, let's keep you. No, they're going to want to bring in their guy. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I actually think Kellen Moore's done. I think he's somewhere else next year.
Okay. That would be interesting. I would be really surprised if he does leave, but hey, we'll wait and see what's going to happen there. But love Brock Bowers going to the Chargers and Justin Herbert. I'm at the 105 here. I'm going to go with my wide receiver 4 in this draft class for me at the moment. He goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Emeka Egbuka in the first.
Love it.
You think about this thought process of Mike Evans walking, Chris Godwin, maybe he gets shifted over to the outside and Emeka Egbuka plays in the slot. Even though Chris Godwin has been on the outside, both those guys have been on the outside, but you finally have an elite slot weapon there, which Baker Mayfield has had history with the Jarvis Landrys, the OBJs. Now, has he had success in the slot? Not as successful as we've seen with Mike Evans, but Emeka Egbuka is different, creating separation. One of the best route runners, I say, outside of Marvin Harrison Jr. in this class. I like Emeka Egbuka here going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who is going to be the quarterback at the moment? Baker's balling, and if he continues with this, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
For fantasy, continue doing what you're doing now, Baker, with Emeka, then I'll be okay with it.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like Baker and Mike Evans. I mean, right now they're in the playoffs.
Yeah,
if they are in the playoffs, I'd be surprised if they separate those two. Mm-hmm. And Mike Evans is playing some of his best ball. I think he'll be back. But we are living in a different world here. We're living in a world where they drafted a first-round wide receiver, which would indicate to us that Mike Evans is no longer on the squad. So I like it. Makes a lot of sense. I don't love Emeka and Godwin together, though. That's what I don't love about the Bucs specifically doing this.
Right.
I would like Egbuka to really complement someone. I feel like him and Godwin could play a similar role, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I get you.
All right, I'm at the 106, and my best available player in my rankings is coming off the board next. That is Troy Franklin. Beautiful landing spot. He ends up with the Houston Texans.
100%.
So he gets to link up with C.J. Stroud, one of the best up-and-coming quarterbacks in the NFL, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL, producing multiple high top 24 finishes in points per game at the wide receiver position. Now Troy Franklin steps in, and I have said this pretty consistently on the channel. The Texans are going to tell us exactly how they feel about their wide receiver room with their actions this year, okay? Whatever they do will indicate to us how they feel about Tank Dell and how they feel about Nico Collins. Right. If they sign someone in free agency, if they draft someone in the first round, they're indicating to us these are good guys that Stroud is elevating. We want to get in a potential elite weapon that can elevate Stroud. Now, if they don't do that, then they'll tell us that they like that wide receiver room. I'm not here to argue that, but in today's world, in today's reality, they draft Troy Franklin with a first-round pick, and he gets to link up with CJ. That's an exciting idea there, so I'll take him there.
With this pick, are you worried about Nico or Tank? Because I don't know. I know how I would feel.
Okay. I mean, no, kind of what I just said though. I mean, I like I mentioned, this is the Texans telling me how they feel about their wide receiver room.
Right.
If they're saying this is our wide receiver room, it's Nico, it's Tank, and we are set for multiple years, they don't make this pick in my mind.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
I'm not.
You already have so many needs.
I am not saying I don't like Troy Franklin. I just don't think he's going to take away significance from the production that Nico and Tank is doing. I think they draft him as a field stretcher specifically here. But I could be wrong. Okay. I still like Troy. I think he will probably be a better prospect and is a better wide receiver overall than what Nico Collins has been so far in the past 3-4 years he's been in the league.
Sure.
But I still like Troy. But I'm just thinking of I think they're drafting him and putting him in a box. I hope that's not the case.
Yeah, I just don't see why you draft a field stretcher in the first round. You know, their actions are going to tell us, right? But that's not what that's not what they wanted that player to be when they drafted him, right?
Sure.
So
sure.
I think their actions are going to tell us exactly how they feel. And in this scenario, it doesn't if you have Nico Collins and they draft a first round wide receiver, you feel good in Dynasty? No, I don't feel good about that.
I don't feel good in Dynasty. Yeah, I guess we'll wait and see here.
So, yeah, we'll see.
All right, at the 107 here, let's go to your Kansas City Chiefs. This is a landing spot I don't necessarily love personally, but Xavier Worthy does go to the Kansas City Chiefs. Kind of similar to what I was talking about with Troy Franklin. Everyone loves Troy. Xavier Worthy going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Xavier Worthy does go to the Kansas City Chiefs. And one of the biggest arguments that I've been saying, I think they put him in a box specifically as a field stretcher. You know, I'm not saying they can't move him to the slot. They're already struggling. Patrick Mahomes is pissed with Kadarius Toney. Sky Moore can't stay healthy. You know, no one can catch the ball. And Xavier Worthy, if I'm not mistaken, one of the top drop percentages in this class here. Do you draft this guy who has already drop issues? That's a big emphasis on this year for the Kansas City Chiefs. Sure. But he has these really good traits. He has the speed. He has the route running ability. He has the separation. He has all those traits. Can he hone in and catching the ball? I love Xavier Worthy. Once again, I am not that I dislike the landing spot. I wouldn't know how to feel if he does go in the first round going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Sure. Because once again, we've seen multiple guys going early for the Chiefs, whether it's early, in the second round or the first round. And they just haven't been successful because they're quote-unquote field stretchers. So we'll wait and see what happens with Xavier Worthy.
So you had two sides of the coin from the Dynasty community with Chiefs wide receivers in recent years, right? When Tyreek Hill moved on and they drafted Sky Moore, people were like, oh my God, this could be potentially Mahomes' number one weapon moving forward. And that scarred a lot of people. And a lot of people were like, I am not touching Rashee Rice. I'm not touching any Chiefs wide receiver. So
what's crazy about that, by the way, he wasn't a field stretcher. He was a above average slot guy that could be moved around outside and in. That's why I think I was really comfortable going with Sky Moore. Anyways, I'm continuing with your point.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone really liked him as a prospect.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I was going to say.
Sorry.
What was I saying?
Something about stuff.
I can't remember what I was going to say. Anyway, right. But moving on to the 108, there is a name that is still in the first round, but it's at the very end of the first round, last pick. I'm going to take the first pick in the second round, Brian Thomas Jr. He goes to the Carolina Panthers. Now, I don't know exactly how I feel about this spot here for Brian Thomas Jr. I love the prospect. I'm a big fan of his game. He is extremely fun to watch, super fluid, but he is not defined as a route runner just yet. And I'm not sure I love the idea of us drafting him and then waiting for him to kind of refine that part of his game. But I think this is just a huge upgrade over what you have right now with Jonathan Mingo.
Right.
Brian Thomas is a huge yak threat. I mean, he is very difficult to bring down in the open field. He's got great speed, great hands as well. So that's going to be a little bit more reliable for Bryce Young over there. 82.1 catch percentage, which is third best in the nation out of 233 wide receivers who had at least 50 targets this year. He also posted a 60% contested catch rate. So I think there are reasons to get excited. If Brian Thomas puts it all together, he and Bryce Young could really do some damage in the NFC South. But if if he doesn't develop those parts of his game too early, you could see people already kind of calling him a bust early into his career. So that's the concern for me. What does a market do if they don't give him time to develop? I love Brian Thomas in certain areas where the offense is a little bit already established, but again, he steps into an area where clearly there's no one that he's going to be competing with targets, and he could be the guy from day one. So I'll take him there. I love the talent, super exciting athlete. Reminds you a little bit of Anquan Bolden. We'll take him here at the 108. First pick in the second round of the mock draft.
Yeah, I love the pick, Brian Thomas. I get the narrative that you're talking about. It is a little bit concerning. But I guess we hope in that talent that he can bring and he's already ready. He's been in a quote unquote collegiate elite offense, right? He's been there. He knows how to handle the pressure. Hopefully he can translate that to the next level here.
Yeah.
All right. I have a couple different options. I can go quarterback. I can go wide receiver. I'm just going to do it just to get out the way. I'm going to go Keon Coleman. And you guys know we're not big fans of him. He goes to the Baltimore Ravens with one of, the bottom picks in the first round.
Yeah, 32 overall, so the last pick in the first.
I personally, which means that the Baltimore Ravens win the Super Bowl in this example, by the way. Shout out if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan. I don't see how he can fit in this specific offense.
Yeah, I don't like the fit.
You think of the way Lamar Jackson operates and how he extends the play. Zay Flowers is the perfect one. The Rashad Bateman, who was a great route runner coming out of college, or decent route runner. You think of OBJ, who can get separation. Keon Coleman doesn't have that ability. He just has, in my opinion, the jump ball capability. Now, he does bring something different to this offense, which is really good.
Yeah.
But I don't see how he can be a fantasy relevant, week to week consistent starter in this offense, even with an elite quarterback like a Lamar Jackson. And it's really good that, well, at least in our opinions, that we're seeing the community trying to, we'll see these falling in some people's rankings here.
Yeah, at first we were like, we don't like Keon, and everyone's like, we're literally going to unsubscribe and never talk to you again. And now people are like, all right, I kind of see it.
Yeah,
I kind of see it.
Okay. But look, I'm just going to continue to ride the wave here. I know some people still like Keon Coleman. I'm pretty sure we're going to get some comments in the chat saying that he should have been top 5. But I'll take him here at the 109.
Yeah, I was going to leave him on the board for a little while because, like you mentioned, I hate this landing spot. I'll be honest with you guys.
Yeah.
I don't envision Keon being like a 7 to 9 target per game type of player in his rookie year. And y'all know I love Zay Flowers. Y'all know I wanted him at the Chargers. And I always think about what his rookie year could have looked like attached to Justin Herbert with no Mike Williams on that team. I think he could have absolutely exploded. And we're talking about Zay Flowers, who just had, one target last week? Mm-hmm. And now we're going to put Keon Coleman, who struggles with separation, on this offense. That really concerns me. When Mark Andrews is healthy, you got Bateman kind of, turning it up a little bit. Zay Flowers, what are you? Are you the second, third, fourth option on this team? And how many targets are you getting? I mean, how many opportunities are you getting to win those jump balls? So that landing spot really concerns me for Keon. But I agree, it makes sense for their team because they don't have a body like that.
Exactly, they bring something different.
I'm going to go running back here. I'm going to go Trey Benson. I think this is where I'm comfortable to kind of start looking at the running back spot. He goes to the Minnesota Vikings in the second round with the 53rd overall pick. You look at what Ty Chandler is doing with this team last week when he was given full opportunity. No disrespect to Ty Chandler, but Trey Benson is a far superior prospect. You put Trey Benson in that offense with Kevin O'Connell, I mean, that could be extremely exciting. And I don't think it's bold to say he could be a top 24 running back in his rookie year. So that's very exciting. I love this player. I know a lot of people don't like Trey Benson. Some people apparently don't even have him in their top 5. I genuinely don't understand how that's possible, but I view him as a complete running back. Size, speed, burst, short area quickness, strength through contact. For his size at 6'1", 225 pounds, he should not be bursting the way he is. He should not have that acceleration, that stop-start ability. just that 0 to 60 type of speed. It's crazy. Love his vision. He hit 21 miles per hour more than anyone else in college football this year, according to Cam Miller. I'm a big fan of his game, so I will take him off the board here at the 111. I think the Vikings are a perfect landing spot. Madison, it didn't work out, but it's a clear need, and they're going to address that need with Trey Benson.
100%. He can easily take over and be this guy for the Minnesota Vikings. I want to stay at the running back position here. We haven't seen a different landing spot, if I'm not mistaken, so far for Travion Henderson.
Yeah.
He's consistently, no matter what mock draft, going to the Green Bay Packers. I think it's clear that everyone in the community believes the Green Bay Packers need a running back here.
That's what it feels like.
But look, Aaron Jones, just getting older, can't stay healthy. A.J. Dillon has not been what anyone expected coming out of college. Travion Henderson, even though we haven't gotten official word that he is going to be, declaring into the NFL or even going back to Ohio State, Zach and I like to say we're just going to wait until him and his team says so before we make any, assumptions here. So in our mind, he's going to the NFL draft, I guess. Maybe it's our assumption, right? But yeah, Travion Henderson, great fit here. The way Jordan Love is playing, they want to get these running backs utilized. They just can't because they've all been injured throughout the season. Travion Henderson, a perfect fit here. A pass-catching back and a guy that can run in between the tackles.
Yeah, kind of your Aaron Jones replacement there, so I like it. Look, this is a point of the draft where if there were players I didn't love that landed in the second round, I'd probably start going quarterback. But there are some names in the second round that I still really love and I believe could make an impact for your one quarterback teams. Y'all know I love this player. That is Jalen McMillan. He goes in the second round to your New York Football Giants.
Talk it up.
Who get a quarterback upgrade in this world that we're living in this exercise. They draft a quarterback in the top 10. We'll talk about that later, I'm sure. But Jalen McMillan, you guys, what we see from Wandale like once every 12 games, where it's just like, oh my God, that's pretty exciting. Like the target share, what he can do after the catch, what he can do out of the slot, that's pretty exciting. Imagine if you got that, most games. I think that's what you're going to get with a player like Jalen McMillan. Slot master, can play outside, super versatile guy, great route runner. You link up with a quarterback in this draft, you go to rookie camp together, you build that chemistry. I believe from day one, you are the preferred target. You are the guy over the middle of the field. You're the safety blanket. So Jalen McMillan, I'll take him at the 112. He links up with an exciting prospect in the first round. But I love him. Glad that finally we're seeing someone respect my guy Jalen. I mean, all these mocks, Padaki, I'm seeing him in the 5th round. I'm like, what are these people doing?
Yeah.
So,
he's going later and later. Some mocks.
It's good to see. Good to see.
No, it is good. It is good here. All right. You know what? I'll go with the quarterback position here. I think it's time. I'm the first pick in the second round. This is where I can take Caleb Williams here.
Makes
going
sense.
to the Chicago Bears with the 101. He's going to be linking up there with DJ Moore. In this world, Justin Fields, I'm assuming, is walking in. And look, I think there is a world where they keep Justin Fields and they still draft Caleb Williams. In my personal, I'm not sure how you feel about that.
That would be awful.
I think
I don't see that happening.
That would be awful because maybe they're not getting the compensation that they wanted for Justin at the time.
Just even from a locker room perspective, that would be a nightmare.
Oh, probably. But look, Caleb Williams going to the Chicago Bears, decent weapons, and I'm okay with him going here at the 201.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Lots of options still on the board. I could go quarterback, and it's probably the right move at this point. But there's another name that I'm excited about. And, you and I talk about this. We don't really listen to other people's opinions that we trust until we're finished scouting. And there's a name that just kept coming up from people that I trust once we started watching content.
Yeah.
And I had to re-look at this player. Because, to be honest, when I first watched him, it was the player that I had the least amount of film on because he transferred schools and he wasn't eligible for quite some time. So he didn't play that much this year. But in the second round, 35th overall pick, so a top 35 selection, the New England Patriots get Tez Walker. I'm going to take him here at the 202. I did take a second look at Tez Walker, and I kind of get it. It's tough because there's so many size speed athletes in this class. He's 6'2", 200 pounds.
Yeah.
But he's a very exciting deep ball threat, like an explosive player. He's a down the field, big play threat. His average depth of target, guys, was 19.1, which is ridiculous. That is the 5th highest in the nation with any wide receiver who had at least 50 targets. He's got great long run speed. When you watch his striding, specifically while he's getting up to his top speed, it reminds me of Christian Watson. I'm not comparing them exactly as players, but two guys who are a little bit lanky, great athletes. I would not be surprised if Tez Walker just tests really, really well, and you're going to start hearing a lot more Christian Watson comparisons. But he's a silky, smooth, fluid type of movement player that makes him pretty exciting to me. So, I see a little Christian Watson, a little Mike Williams in his game, and I think this is a guy who is going to keep rising as we get closer and closer to April. So I'm going to take him here. Again, 2nd round pick. He links up with another quarterback, just like Jalen McMillan in the first round. Mm-hmm. So I'll take Tez Walker there at the 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, look, I do like it, and, I'll take his teammate here so we can kind of marry them together here, and I'll go Drake May. He does go to the New England Patriots with the 2nd overall pick, and this is exactly what you want. He links up with his old college quarterback. The chemistry is already there. You think of, the Joe Burrow and Jamar Chases. You think of, I guess, the Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, even though they're a different position, right? But you get the thought process, how exciting that can be.
Just to clarify, you're not comparing Jamar Chase and Tez Walker.
No,
you're just saying they had chemistry in college, because I know I could already see the comments coming.
100%. The chemistry in college, the excitement that can bring, you're going to learn the new play, the new offense. They're going to, integrate their own plays and be like, hey, these are the plays we used to run, and this is the plays that we like, and these are the plays that we find successful. And obviously, there's going to be some different plays as well. And there's really no competition here in this offense with Tez and clearly Drake May, right? You think of, Demario Douglas. I guess just to, talk more about Tez Walker, Demario Douglas, Juju Smith. There's no one else there. And then Tez Walker getting drafted in the early 2nd round here, going with his college quarterback and Drake May. This could be a really, really good setup here for both of these guys.
Yeah, I agree. It would be a very exciting pair over in New England. I think overnight they become an exciting team to watch. Mm-hmm. All right, at the 204, I'm going to take a quarterback that y'all know I love. Jaden Daniels goes to your New York Football Giants with the 7th overall pick, I believe. I'll take him here at the 204, and I'm linking him up with Jalen McMillan. So that is an exciting pair. You got Jalen McMillan, you got Jalen Hyatt, who's going to stretch the field. Wan'Dale Robinson, who when he's not injured, will give you, every 12 weeks, a really exciting game. We'll see if Darren Waller can get healthy, but Jaden Daniels is a very exciting prospect, a guy who could be top 5 in rushing at the quarterback position in his rookie year. So I think in a 1 quarterback format, that could make an impact straight away for fantasy teams.
Yeah, I completely agree here. Just looking at where I can pivot, obviously there's a bunch of other quarterbacks that I can go. Yeah. And I'm going to continue because I like the draft capital. I like the landing spot. Bo Nix out of Oregon goes to the Las Vegas Raiders here in the early 2nd round. And this is, once again, I kind of been saying this for a while now. You guys have been hearing me. He steps into a great opportunity. Competition as well there with Aiden O'Connell, and Jimmy G is probably going to be gone here, I think, or maybe they keep him because of how big that cap hit is going to be potentially. But a good foundation with Jacoby Myers, Michael Mayer. If Devontae Adams does stay on this team here, Josh Jacobs, we've seen the success so far in how he's been moving the ball. I mean, they just spanked the Chargers nearly, 62 to something. Bo Nix can definitely do what Aiden O'Connell can do, in my opinion, and maybe better as well. So I'll take him here in the 205, even though I know it's a 1 quarterback.
So I was looking for Jonathan Brooks in this mock draft from Draft Countdown, and he's nowhere to be found, so I can't draft him. I guess they're assuming he's going to come back to college. Mm-hmm. With this next pick, I think I'm going to grab a tight end. He went in the 2nd round to the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's really good.
That is Jatavion Sanders. Mm-hmm. This dude, a little bit undersized for the tight end position, but he really fits that modern wide receiver tight end hybrid in today's NFL. He is an absolute freak athlete. He was the number 1 athlete in his high school recruiting class, and he's put up some serious production at the tight end position over in Texas with Quinn Ewers. Now he gets to step into the Cincinnati Bengals. What happens? Do they move on from T. Higgins? We'll find out. But if they do, Jatavion could step into some instant relevancy at the tight end spot. So I'll take him there at the 206 with the Bengals.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, I'll go with my next running back. I think this might be a little interesting. Braylon Allen goes to the Dallas Cowboys with one of the last picks here in the second round. This makes sense. This makes sense because you think of how they utilized back in the day Ezekiel Elliott with Tony Pollard. Does Tony Pollard stay? And you can have your 1-2 punch combination. Tony Pollard does go and revert back to potentially the pass catching guy, and then Braylon Allen takes over that Ezekiel Elliott role that we saw, and he doesn't have any pressure. Tony Pollard knows this system, and we've seen Tony Pollard be successful, but at the same time, he needs a complimentary, bigger guy, and that is Braylon Allen here. Does he take away goal line opportunities? Probably, but Tony Pollard is most likely going to be the pass catching back here. So I'll take Braylon Allen going to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, Braylon Allen's a fun pick there. There is a wide receiver that is on the board who I like, but I just don't like the landing spot. I'm going to grab Bucky Irvin here. He went one of the first picks in the third round, so early round 3, he goes to the Chargers. I'm assuming they move on from Austin Eckler. I'm not claiming that Bucky can replace that production, but he's an exciting, explosive, Tajay Spears type of talent. So for him to be in Los Angeles, maybe they give Isaiah Spiller kind of that short yardage work, and Bucky Irvin kind of becomes their pass catching threat. So I'll take him there at the 208. Caught a lot of balls at Oregon this year and just dynamic after the catch, so I'll take him there.
No, it makes sense here. Round 3, Xavier Legette going to the Chicago Bears, linking up with Caleb Williams. He's most likely going to be the number 2 wide receiver next to DJ Moore. Obviously, Darnell Mooney is most likely going to walk. You have Cole Kmet there. This is a good complimentary guy for DJ Moore. You have 2 big body guys that are going to be a threat for the opposing defenses. I love Xavier Legette going to the Chicago Bears. Don't love the draft capital in the third round, but still, the landing spot could be very interesting if that's in the second.
I agree. I'm kind of shocked that he fell that far, but I don't think he falls that far in real life. All right, at the 210, I'm going to go with Blake Corum. He goes to the Arizona Cardinals. We know James Conner is coming to the end of his career at some point. We all know that running back cliff is inevitable. He's playing really well, but at some point they're going to have to add a serious running back to complement him or either eventually take over that role. So Blake Corum with the Arizona Cardinals, I'll take it there. You can love, you can hate the prospect, but you can see the opportunity for sure.
Okay. Let's go with, some of these landing spots are really bad.
Yes.
You know what? Then I'm just gonna pivot. I know it's still one quarterback, but I'll take J.J. McCarthy. We've seen Desmond Ridder. J.J. McCarthy goes to the Atlanta Falcons, by the way, guys. We've seen Desmond Ridder get benched for Taylor Heineke coming into this week, going into week 16 as we are recording this.
Snap. I mean, make a decision. Come on, Arthur.
We're going back and forth.
This is toxic group think from Arthur.
It's not okay. It's not okay, and it's clear that he needs another quarterback. I think someone like JJ in the second round is a good opportunity to come in and compete. He has the weapons around him in Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson. The opportunities and the weapons are there. They just need to tie it together and marry it with a quarterback. Maybe that's JJ because it's not Desmond or Taylor Heineke. So I'll take a chance here in the one quarterback.
Okay, there's like 7 players I want to draft at the 212. So it's going to get a little tough here, but I'm actually just going to talk about a new name that we really haven't talked on the stream about before. Over in Washington, I've been wanting a serious tight end for quite some time. I mean, Logan Thomas, he's been great. He's been fine, but he's not the answer long term. I just think it'd be awesome to have a serious tight end prospect in Washington. So with the first pick, I believe, or one of the first picks in the third round, Washington grabs Iowa's Luke Lachey.
That's what you want, brother.
I haven't done enough research on this player, but I know he's an exciting athlete. A lot of people the draft community were really excited about him taking over for Sam Laporta there. And it's like betting on an Ohio State wide receiver. The Brian Hartline effect is strong over there in Ohio State. Well, you bet on Iowa tight ends. So I'll bet on Luke Lachey here with the Washington Commanders. I don't think Bieniemy's going to stay. I think they'll get a whole new staff. But if he does, it would be, again, in any of these coordinators, it's not necessarily his fault. I'm just saying any of these coordinators who aren't doing bad, but the head coach is going to change, it's just very unlikely that that head coach decides to keep what the organization already had. I mean, it's their entire livelihood is riding on the coordinators that they decide to employ to kind of, you know, outwork their vision. I just don't see a head coach, new GM just being like, yeah, let's keep them with the old regime.
That makes sense.
But anyway,
I hear you.
I could be wrong. And Luke Lachey could be a very exciting prospect. I mean, he's a very, very good ball skills is what I would say from what I've seen, and an exciting name. Now, Badaki, there's a lot of names we could have drafted there, so let's take a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
Adonai Mitchell. A lot of people are going to be super frustrated. Where the hell is Adonai Mitchell? Well, he went at the end of the second round, which is not a big deal, but he went to the Cleveland Browns, and that's just a very difficult spot at the moment. It's not that I think Elijah Moore is great, but you just drafted Cedric Tillman. I think he's kind of coming into his own. You got Amari Cooper there. Yeah. David Njoku is doing his thing. Elijah Moore is still there. It's just, he's a great player, but not in a spot that I really love. So, you know, you can hate us if you want, but the Cleveland Browns for Adonai Mitchell is not an ideal spot. Jalen Polk went to the Falcons in the third. Let's see.
Yeah, Ladd McConkey goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the third as well.
I hate that spot for him, but
terrible one.
Yeah. And I mean, look, there's probably some other names, but
names that we like that just haven't gone to landing spots. You know, Michael Penix goes to Washington, Ray Davis to New England in the fifth. There's just a lot of players that we do like, just didn't get the capital or the landing spot that we were hoping for, unfortunately.
But that is it for today, guys. But we need to tell you about something very, very exciting that should be releasing, I believe, Christmas, right, Badaki?
Yeah, we're hoping for
Christmas Day, this is going to release. We have, this is basically the culmination of countless hours of work, countless weeks of work. Honestly, probably a month more of work when we're putting this package all together. We are releasing our rookie scouting and ranking package. Here's a little example. This is Marvin Harrison Jr.'s profile. You can see we every prospect that we grade, we have watched at least 3 all-22 games.
Yeah.
We have our own grading system, what matters to us. So, you know, that will be explained in that document. But pro comps, projected draft capital, a prospect status, weaknesses, strengths. When the combine happens, we'll update that. That will give them a complete grade with their relative athletic score. All that is updating. I mean, there's so much over there. So if you want to be ahead in your rookie drafts in what is a very exciting class, go ahead and use our promo code LAND when signing up to the Flock Fantasy website. As long as you're on that Mother Flocker tier and you're using our code, you're going to get access to that package, and it will continually update. What you're seeing is awesome. We're super proud of it, but it's going to be even better each and every month as we get into the offseason. So
100%.
Super exciting times. Again, make sure you're supporting us so you can access that. So many other perks that you get when you sign up. Feel free to DM us if you have any questions. Dynasty Team Review, the fantasy hotline for a direct DM where you can ask us questions. You get to be a part of our Dynasty Trade Show where we review your show or review your trades on a show. So much. But we appreciate you guys. And make sure you hit that like button for us, and we'll see you very, very soon. All love. Now that those idiots are done talking, who needs some rankings?
Hell yeah, I need some rankings.
Then use promo code LAND, L-A-N-D, for 30% off any membership at flockfantasy.com.
Oh.
It's so easy. Even your grandma could scan that QR code right there.